Hey everybody, it's Christina Holloway here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're doing great work, but still feel invisible at work, this might be why. You're managing your tasks, you're managing your time, and you might even be managing your team. But are you managing your relationships in all directions? Because here's the thing, if you're not managing up, down, and across the organization, then chances are you're not getting the visibility or support you need to grow. In today's video, I'm going to break down what it really means to manage relationships in 3 directions and how this one shift can completely change how you show up, get noticed, and move forward in your career. All right, so let's get started. Part 1, managing up. Let's start with managing up. And I don't mean kissing up. Managing up is about creating a strong professional relationship with your boss or with the leaders above you in the org chart, like your skip level. Here's what it actually looks like. You anticipate what your boss needs before they ask. You communicate clearly without overwhelming them. You make their job easier, and that makes you indispensable. Let me give you a quick example. I had a client who was constantly being overlooked for stretch assignments. She'd finish her work, she'd stay quiet in meetings, and she thought being low maintenance was the right move. But guess what happened? Her manager had no idea what she was working on or how valuable she was because she never communicated upward. Once we shifted her strategy to include regular updates, small wins, clear requests for visibility, she started getting noticed because she was managing up. Here are some common mistakes that I see: waiting to be noticed instead of taking the lead, overloading your boss with information instead of being strategic, not understanding your boss's style, goals, or pressure points. So here's a quick coaching tip. Think about it from this perspective. What is your boss being measured on this quarter? If you don't know the answer, then start there. When you align with your boss's goals, you become a partner, not just a direct report. Part 2, managing down. Now, let's talk about managing down. And if you're not in a formal leadership role with no direct reports, it doesn't matter. Don't skip this part. There is plenty to learn. Managing down isn't only about having direct reports. It is about how you lead, influence, and support the people around you. It's your ability to communicate expectations clearly, delegate with trust, create a culture of respect and accountability. I once worked with a mid-level manager who was struggling with burnout. Why? Because she was doing everything herself. She didn't trust her team to deliver, so she micromanaged every detail. We worked on delegation, setting boundaries, and giving feedback, and her team started stepping up in a big way. Why? Because they felt valued. She went from being a bottleneck to being a leader people respected. Common mistakes: micromanaging or hovering, avoiding feedback conversations, failing to develop others because it's faster to do it yourself. So here's another quick coaching tip. Ask yourself, where am I holding on too tightly? This week, try to delegate one thing and focus on coaching instead of controlling. Here's what I need done. Here are the steps that will help you succeed with this. Circle back with me in between these few steps so we stay connected and I know you're succeeding. That's it. You'll be amazed what happens. Part 3, managing across. So finally, managing across. This is the one people really underestimate. Managing across means building relationships with your peers, cross-functional teammates, and internal stakeholders. This is where your influence expands. You become a bridge across the organization and a trusted one at that. You get looped into conversations that lead to new opportunities. You're seen as a collaborator and not just a solo contributor. A client of mine once told me, I don't talk to people outside my department unless I have to. The problem? She was being left out of key decisions because those decisions were being made in cross-functional meetings and she didn't even know about. You know, And then she complained about not getting promoted or put on a bigger projects. Well, you can't have it both ways. We built a plan for her to connect with people in adjacent teams. She started asking about their priorities, sharing what she was working on, and looking for ways to be supportive. 6 months later, she was brought into a major strategic initiative because people trusted her and they had a sense of her leadership style. That's managing across. Here are some common mistakes or assumptions people make about managing across. I should just stay in my lane and only work on what's given to me. Seeing your peers as competition and not people who will help you succeed. Only reaching out when you need something. That one happens a lot. If you struggle with getting visibility across the organization, consider taking action this week to send one message to a peer in another department. Hey, I saw your update on whatever topic. It looks interesting. Let me know if there's a way I can support or collaborate. They could say no, but it doesn't matter. You reached out, and that's what's important. Simple, strategic, and powerful. So let's pull it all together. How do you do all this work together? Managing up gives you visibility and strategic alignment. Managing down builds trust, influence, and leadership credibility. Managing across expands your network and opens doors. This is the 360-degree model of leadership, doing the work, sure, but also building relationships that support the work. If you're doing amazing work, but still not getting traction, I want you to ask yourself, am I building relationships in all directions or just one? That question alone can change your career trajectory. When the pressure is high, it's tempting to go solo. Keep your head down, do the work, hope someone notices. But if you work in a competitive culture or a fast paced industry, then allies are your safety net. Look for cross functional partners who collaborate well with you, senior leaders who value what you bring, colleagues who lift others up instead of dragging them down. And then do the same, back others up. Build a reputation as someone who's both capable and collaborative. Because in these environments, the people who rise aren't the loud, performative ones. They eventually burn bridges. The ones who have a better chance to rise are the ones people actually want to work with. That's the foundational work. All right, so that's it for my video on how to manage up, down, and across the organization. Let me know in the comments below how you manage your work relationships up, down, and across. Which ones do you think are easier to build? I'd love to hear about it. And if you enjoyed watching this video and you found it helpful, please make sure you give it a big thumbs up by hitting that like button and make sure you're subscribed to my channel so you never miss another video from me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.